Good morning, this is Hoffman, and you're watching the 5-Minute Stoplight Show, continuous education for real estate investors and professionals. Today is November 17th, 2010, and today I'm going to talk about the meeting I went to last night, which was the NSDREI meeting in Oceanside, and the speaker was Shawn Watkins. But first, I want to give a quick little shameless self-promotion here. Here at Wholesale Capital Corporation, I am a loan officer here. We sell mortgages all over California. Though we are based in the IE, anywhere in California we can do a mortgage. The reason you're watching this is either because you are A, an investor, B, a agent who works with investors, or C, an agent who at some time or another will have to work with an investor because the buyer you're working with is buying a flip. The reason Wholesale Capital works great with all of these individuals: one, if you are an investor, there are ways we can get you financed even though you think there is not. Just the other day I was able to double someone's income based on how I analyze their tax returns. It is harder than it used to be, but it is still possible. So give me a call. If you are an investor, that's if you're trying to buy and hold and create a rental portfolio with all this really cheap money that's available right now. Or if you are an investor who's trying to flip, you will want to have a direct lender who knows how your system works really good. That way you know that when it's time to sell your property and you're going to get your cash out, that you're not going to be held up with long waits and fumbling with getting the funding set up for your end buyer. We work with companies that do 120 to 200 transactions a month. So we are very experienced with doing flips. We can do FHA flips, conventional flips, we can do it all. And there's no limit on how much profit you can make when you do these flips either. Other companies, you have a 20% price increase rule. We don't have that here. If you are an agent and you're working with an investor, you want to make sure you have a lender who's on your team who is very good with working with investors and understands how their business plan works, so that way there's no hiccups or no snags, and we can work very, very well with investors and make you look good at the same time. And if you are an agent who just happens to work with buyers, and you know you're going to run into at some time or another that you're going to have a flip property, we can make sure that you don't have these hiccups along the way, and you'll know right away that even if a flip does come up, we work really fast. Most of our fundings happen within 30 days, so give me a call. And yeah. Also, a quick favor I want to ask of everyone who watches this: if you are an agent and you have other people in your office, please forward this to them and let them know how you met me. If you're an agent who's worked with me before and you want to tell them how much you like the service that I gave you, please include that. And if you are an investor and you want to forward this to any agents that you work with, please do that as well and let them know how you met me. Now, I want to get to the meat of the issue. Shawn Watkins. Shawn Watkins is an investor who, up until about 4 years ago, was from California, and 4 years ago moved to Utah. So he's got a full-time business in Utah and here in California. He runs a club also. I'm going to include a link down in the description to his club. But the topic of the discussion last night was negotiating. And it was part lecture, part of role-playing and talking about negotiations. A couple of the key takeaways that I got from last night, there were a lot of them, so I'm just going to give you about 2 or 3. Putting yourself into the situation where you remove yourself from your expectations. For instance, when you go into meet with a homeowner you're trying to buy from, a lot of times we'll go in and say, okay, I can structure it this way. I can plan to come in and buy all cash, and I'll get it for this much little, or this 80 cents on the dollar, and that'll be my plan. But when you go in there, you want to talk to them and understand what their motivation is. That way, you have a really good understanding of maybe they don't need a discount. Maybe they don't have to sell. Maybe they can do seller financing, and I can get much better terms or something like that. There's all kinds of unique strategies you can use, but you need to remove yourself from what your preconceptions are about that seller and what's going on. So another point was ask one big question and then let the sellers talk. We do that in the loan business too. We have to ask, instead of just going down a checklist of questions, we want to ask one question and then figure out all the details in between, and then later on fill in the gaps. For instance, coming in and saying, this is a very nice house. Why would you want to sell a nice house like this? And then just let them spiel out their answer. So that was a really good one as well. Treat people fairly and don't lie about or don't hide the fact that the price is really low, or that the value is much higher. So being honest about that is a key thing with him. And yeah, mainly asking the big questions and shut up. Those were the main takeaways that I got for him. He recommended 2 books which are going to go on my reading list, and I'm going to download those next after I finish the book I'm on. And that was by an author, Ben Gay III. Funny name, but I'm going to read his books. The books are called The Closers and The Closers 2. So those are the readings that I'm going to dip into next. But I'm going to include links down below. Again, he has clubs in the city of Orange, I believe, and he's in Utah as well. But definitely check him out. If you get a chance to go down to NSDREI, they are a very, very good club. They're on my drive down to San Diego list. They have to be very good clubs to make me want to drive all the way down to San Diego. So please, guys, give me a call. Forward this to some people. Subscribe. My phone number 951-488-3114, or shoot me an email at R as in Ryan Hoffman, Hoffman @ WCCloans.com. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you later.